State has its secrets, and Washington's got two faces. Rainforest on the coast, dry scrub in the east. One man seen it all, guerrilla grower. Outlaw teacher, sly, aka local. That's why Inventor partner with him, to learn, to log, to grow smarter.
Oh, local walks through cedar shade, raindrops heavy where the rivers wave. Across the mountain, sun bakes ground, sandy loam, dust swirling round. He's run crops hidden deep in the pines, tracked the seasons, read the signs. Now his lessons feed the code, internet of pot, walks the road. Partner with the pioneers, wisdom flows like a local. The system grows from wet west woods to dry east stone. CannaConvos makes the knowledge our own. Know your soil, he laughs. That's the start. Clay grips tight, sand falls apart. One strain thrives in the valley floor, another up high where the eagles soar. Think first growers debate, refine. AI listens, adjusts in time. Old hands teach, young minds learn. Together the cycle takes its turn.
Internet of pot ain't guessing, it's listening. Every tip from Loco gets lost.
Yo, what up, everybody? You already know Sly K Loco here with another episode of CannaConvos, and today we got Keith Kilroy, the inventor of the Internet of Pots. Now, you guys, this is the new thing, y'all. You better be ready because this is what we're doing. We're starting to come up with a new app that is going to help all the new growers. All right, new growers, just better listen up right here. This is going to help you. And I'm going to be able to walk you through all the stuff that I would normally tell you, but it's going to be like a virtual logo. But everybody, say thanks to Keith. What up, Keith? Bow, 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 bow.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it was interesting when I met you. We were up at the Mo Cannafest. And
Mo Cannafest.
this thing was, I shelved it. Okay, I was sitting there, I was just using it for myself. And I had put it on the back burner, and then I ran into you. When I did that, I just said, hey, you know, out of the blue, what do you think? Does anybody want something like this? And
yeah. For those who don't know, Keith walked up to me, man. We were at Mo Cannafest. We were just chilling. Me, L, Crimson, all the whole team, Vixen, Green Year, everybody. We were all there, and we were just chilling. And we were just about to. I think we're just about to go on stage. Yeah, we were just about to go on stage and do all our podcasts, right? And that's when Keith saw me walk by. I was over there passing out grove bags, and I was taking care of everybody, blah, 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 spreading the word where we're from and what we do, and da-da-da-da, right? And then Keith saw me, and he, it's one of those things, everybody, that is amazing when it happens because you know the connection. You know, hey, that guy right there, I'm gonna go walk up to him. He has a good vibe, all that kind of shit. And so Keith walked up to me and I was like, hey, what's up, man? He pitched his idea and I'm like, brilliant. I am like, that is a brilliant fucking idea because you know what? Right now is the time to where we need something like this to where we can just get one spot for the new grower to go hit up and get all this information quick, easy, bam, bam, instead of having to go from place to place to place to place to go, find all this information. So once you told me, brother, I was like, most definitely. Let's bring him on stage. I actually brought you on stage too, huh? Was that your first time being on stage?
You drugged me up. We were sitting there watching your show. And next thing I know, I'm sitting, right up there next to you. And well, I wasn't prepared to talk about anything because, like I said, I was using it for myself, and it's been evolving over the last 2 years. And I was just thinking, I've got other stuff in education and everything I'm working on. Maybe I think it's a good idea and nobody else does. And then, well, I ran into you, and I guess it was a good idea. So here we are. We're about ready to roll out.
Yes. Now, for everybody out there, be ready. This is going to be we're pretty soon. We're pretty soon to rolling out. Me and Keith are collaborating, and we are going to be trying to bring this app to you guys to where everybody can go on there. Now, if you haven't heard, there is also Sid, the sloth who's
here at the Internet of Pot, we're committed to bringing the knowledge of growing cannabis to the masses.
A one-stop shop for all things cannabis.
Social media,
Trusted companies selling products like Gambit
and Ogo.
And places to get genetics, top-notch apparel, even AI advice from the Virtual Loco.
InternetOfPot.com and Virtual Loco going to be the new hub for all growers and cannabis enthusiasts to be free and not silenced.
Right there next to Keith, right? Now go check out Sid. He's going to be our mascot. And he's going to be another one of us teachers that is going to be sitting there helping teach, the new grower. And it really does help to have, somebody that is neutral, as I could say. Like, it's cool to have a mascot. I just think it's so great. Good idea, bro. So my first question of the day that I wanted to ask you is, how did you come up with the Internet of Pot?
Oh, well, the Internet Pot, I've been out there on Facebook and different things trying to dig up information myself to grow. And well, I had been doing stuff for regular mainstream agriculture, using these Internet of Things sensors and bringing that into AI, and you're doing pretty much the same things that I've tailored completely for cannabis cultivation. So I've seen it help people all around the world. So I figured, people are throwing money into seeds, trying to do the best they can, but then they get that bro science out there. Everybody tells them something that everybody's a genius, everybody's great. Well, everybody means well, at least for the most part, what I've seen. It's just sometimes it doesn't quite go that way. And what we need is something based more on science. Science combined with people like yourself, somebody that has years of experience knowing what they're looking at and everything. So really, as I'm applying the science with AI and everything to this, honestly, you're critiquing it and telling me, is this thing full of shit or not? Because I'm going to stop it now. That's why we're still in the stage we're at, getting really close, but I'm not comfortable yet, so we keep testing. So we're about ready. And I think people will be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I think is is a good thing is that with this, we're going to be able to upload all the information from other growers as well. So everything that goes into this is going to be information that's going to be put together in the algorithm and everything. The AI will be able to tell, oh, okay, multiple people are saying this, so let's go, down that road and send them down that road instead of, a couple of people. One thing that I just wanted to throw in is an experience that I had when I was a new grower, right? When I was a new grower, I needed to find out if I was having these deficiencies, what was going on with these deficiencies. And so I had to go through, God, I think like 5, 6, 7 YouTube videos of trying to find the exact thing that was happening to my plant. It was stupid hard to find. And, I started to ask around. I asked this one guy, and it might have been a little bit later from this, but this guy, he just sent me a message. He just sent me a message. He was like, you don't think I know what I'm talking about? Because he's like, oh, you should use some CalMag. And I was like, oh, no, I already did that. I already tried that. And total offense. This fucking guy took the most offense to it. And he was just like, you think I don't know what I'm talking about? Shaking his plants, sending me a video like, you don't know, you think I'm an idiot or what? Just took offense to it to the fullest. And if I was a new grower, that totally would have turned me off, But I had been in the social media for a minute, so I knew how some people could overreact. So I was just like, yo, bro, no, I block them. Me, I'm a blocking master. So I was like, nah, dog, you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. Number one, boom. And number two, yeah. And number two, it's like, what are you doing talking to somebody like that? Like, if you're here, if you're really here to teach people, if you're really here to spread the information, you are going to do it nice. You're going to do it respectfully. All right. If somebody doesn't want to take your advice, or if they're not listening to your advice, you don't take that to the heart, everybody. You just, you understand that everybody has their own learning processes, right? Everybody learns at their own pace. Everybody is going to get on at their own pace. Some people, it takes making mistakes before they're going to get it through their head, as for instance, me, right? I gotta make the mistakes, baby. I make the mistakes. Yeah, Keith too. You know, I feel like it's a good thing because you make those mistakes and it helps you grow. It helps you become a better grower. Now, this app is going to take some of that out, right? You know, you're going to be having more, experience on your side, a little bit more tips and tricks that are going to come with the app, right? That you don't get most of the time, unless you're watching hours and hours and hours of these videos, is where you'll hear these tips, right? But our app, oh no, we're going to give it to you right there. What do I say, Keith? Lift the pot, baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the simple things that, you don't find when you're looking around out on the internet is, when do you water? If you're growing in pots, like you just said, lift it up. If it's, light, you need to water. If it's heavy, you're probably good. And then, feel your soil and all the other stuff while you're at it. But, if you don't have a sensor, that's one way to do it.
It's one and now that's one thing that I wanted to tell everybody is that is one of the basic fundamentals that I do want everybody to get down to which we'll probably have on the app, have it telling everybody like, yo, the fundamentals, lift the pot. Because like I said before, guys, if you lift that pot and it's all squishy when you put it down, you got too much water. All right. If you lift it, it's real light, you need to add some more water. And so yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, anyway, the system's trained on things like that. And like now I'm actually updating my model and everything to where I'm putting, it's like 20,000 images I'm training on for different types of plant diseases and pests, things like that. So, you can figure out, is it something that I need to worry about? I'm training it on a bunch of the pictures are good plants. And then, the model learns from that. That's all on the back end. Nobody has to worry about any of that. That's the reason that I'm looking so tired lately, is I'm adding more and more to the intelligence and things, as Loco here tells me, it gets built in and the system's learning, and we're going to continue to let it learn as we're going. But the big thing is it's not an oracle. It's not an end all thing, man. It's going to teach you how to grow. It's not, like I've learned so much just developing this. I mean, it's amazing. And I've met you.
Thank you for that one. And that's where like it's a cool thing because it's a guide. So it's gonna guide you there. But there are some things that you're just gonna have to learn on. Well, you're gonna learn on your own. This growing experience. There are some curveballs that happen that you're gonna be like, yo, what the hell is this? For example, HLVD. That is one thing that we just uploaded up to the Internet of Pot. HLV is not widely talked about. Right now, everybody in the community, we were talking about it there for a minute, and it was going around, but it dies off after a minute because there's the next thing that can happen in cannabis. But HLVD stands for hop latent viroid disease. This is a viroid, which is not really a disease, but it's a viroid that is very transmittable through these cannabis plants. It made the jump from hops to cannabis, and it has been messing up some crops. Right now, everybody out there, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it gets a little, I've had it before, so this is real. It's real shit. Okay, but now there's testing. There's a lot of testing, and there's a lot of knowledge out here now. So, like for instance, one of the knowledge that came out of the HLVD, issue that I had is using bleach. Everybody out there, don't rely on alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol does not kill hop latent viroid disease. It actually, just walks through alcohol. So everybody out there, make sure to keep your scissors bleached before you go around cutting plants. Right? Sorry, there's another little thing.
Hey, it's an important one. I mean, all that type of stuff. It's not just an application either. Yeah, it'll install down to your phone to where you can take pictures and actually do a live video feed to your plant while you're looking at it, and ask questions. Take pictures, things like that while you're at your plant. mine, I have totally automated how our later levels are going to be. Here, middle of the night, the other night, I got a message on my phone that I needed to check my plants. This was middle of the night. It was humid out. It hadn't rained. You know, I didn't think anything of it. I go out there, and one of my babies that, you know, was I finally had a female there that was going to continue on. And I went and I touched it, and it was soaking wet. Because see, it had got my weather station information. It knew the humidity. It knew all that. And it said, hey, you know, you better do something about this. I got out there and, you know, took some pictures of it and fed them in. And it identified a start of bud rot on one of my buds. So, you know, I went ahead and listened to its instructions. It had me remove that bud. It had me go in and trim the sugar leaves out. This is stuff I hadn't done before. But by the next morning, everything was dry and looking really good again. So, yeah, I lost one little bud. You know, it wasn't even that bad, but you know, it just had me get rid of it all to stop the spread. So, anyway, it will start.
Which is very sound advice, man. And it told you exactly what to do, right? Because that's what you need to do. You need to cut that bud off and get rid of it before that God, I was blanking on the word. Somebody just used it, but they know the name of the mold. I'll put it in here. Bing. That name of that mold will spread, and it's like, wow, the sensor does it. Now for everybody out there, also this app is going to be compatible with all the other sensors that you have, AC Infinity sensors, Vivo Sun sensors, whatever. You just upload that data, whatever your sensor says, up to the website, and it'll start, you know, or I'm not too sure how it works. Keith is going to be the one to tell you that.
Well, actually, the easy way to use it is every sensor that you get, you know, that's wireless or anything that you can get to, usually has an app. And if you don't want to, you know, pay a lot of money getting set up and all that, you can just take that app, do a screenshot of it on all the sensor readings, upload that picture into the system, and it'll, you know, from your phone, and it'll read all that data in and say, oh, by the way, your EC's dropping and whatever. It'll keep a history of those pictures, so it'll know. So it records it into a data log that actually you can share, you know, like with you or other members of the community, to try to find out if there's other advice. Maybe you just want to check because AI told you something and you're not too sure of. The community's there. It's an ecosystem. You know, we encourage sharing of knowledge, not censoring of knowledge. You know, just, you know, as long as we're trying to help people.
Instagram, wink, wink. God, we are not censoring anybody. So, as another announcement, everybody, I wanted to come on here and say this is where we are going to try to get everybody uncensored. All right, we're going to get everybody to come over and start being able to post your things. This is going to be the new Instagram of weed, baby. You know, it's the internet of pot. So, everybody make sure to come in. Now we are going to need to get everybody's emails as well, so that we will be able to send you, you know, information, keep you updated with the new things. Also be able to get a hold of us if, or for God forbid, our Instagram pages get taken away, which they have. You know, everybody already knows that. Or our YouTube pages get taken away, you'll still be able to get a hold of us on the internet of pop. So everybody, be ready. This is what we've all been trying to get, man. When Keith told me about this, I was like, this is what we've been waiting for. See, Keith, you've had a great idea this whole time. You just didn't know it, buddy. And now, you know, I get to tell you.
Well, I kept developing it. Yeah, I thought, yeah, you know, I kept thinking it was good, but then you confirmed it. And I mean, we've moved it so far ahead since we've been collaborating, and, you know, getting some of your other friends involved to find out. And, you know, like I said, we're going to start out with you know, the closed beta, you know, really, we bring in a more group of, you know, tight knit cultivators, you know, that have a good history, so they can really critique it. And when we get there, then we're going to start hitting that early access list, sending out invites. Hey, you've been invited, get on here, you know, as we build capacity. And I'm going to try not to, you know, crash like every other AI provider out there whenever they launch something big. I think if we scale it out, phase it out to everybody, the ones that are most interested first, then we'll build a good solid community, really.
Yeah, the ones who are really about this life, the ones that are like about bringing the information to the new growers, to just every growers actually, because every like true grower, the way I feel is you've always got room to grow. There's always something new to learn. There's always new advances in cannabis. There's, yeah, you know, the real master never stops learning. I ching out.
Oh, yeah. One thing we're not mentioning too is in the ecosystem, there's going to be training there too. I mean, most training is going to, a lot of the training is going to be free training where you go to the section, you get some clips and things like that. For the more advanced levels, again, we're going to offer more advanced training courses as well. Some of that will be AI driven. A lot of it will be, just good quality clips of what you need to do, that type of stuff. So, we're I've listened to you there. You said we want to be able to teach that new grower too, but also give value to the experienced guy or gal.
Yes, growers. Yes, and I just think it's an amazing idea, brother. Now, we talked a little bit about that, and I want to get a little bit of backstory into you. Everybody, Keith has done a lot of great things out there that we are just just barely even being able to scratch how much this man has touched a lot of people, or like not like that. He has
Be
he
careful with
has
that nowadays, man.
yeah, no, he has touched a lot of lives with the knowledge that he has spread through just agriculture itself. Now, can you go into a little bit of your background and how much you have, spread knowledge?
Oh yeah, heck, I learned computers whenever I was like 8 years old. I'm in my 50s now, so it was in the beginning. And my dad was part of Novar Electronics. It was known as the hippie factory. Well, I was trained by hippies. My dad said, "You're teaching my boy how to use these things." So I did all kinds of stuff. I learned the cool way of doing it. I didn't learn from, you know, school. Honestly, I had to teach teachers on the way. I was a smart ass. But anyway, then I got older and stuff, one of my big jobs was I was at IBM. I worked on location at Goodyear. Then I moved up and over to Bayer, where there I ended up running the IT department for a while. And all this, I was still in my early 20s. And up and over again, finally at Novar Controls, where I started getting deep into sensors. I mean, my team, we would look at other sensors too, like Johnson Controls and everybody else. Everybody was doing refrigeration. Everybody was monitoring all that stuff. Well, I ended up in R&D there, and I just kept learning and learning. But man, I told you, after all these years of doing this stuff and learning it, I was thinking, man, I don't want to do this for big corporations. It's just not my thing, man. I mean, I was taught by hippies to begin with, So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want
at,
to end up working for the man.
then I ran into this guy George Newman over at One Planet Education. I mean, this guy's on a mission. I mean, this is where I really got deep into all the sensors and IoT and all that stuff and how it can actually benefit people. I mean, one of my first meetings I was on, they do a lot with regenerative agriculture. And it was in Kenya. These guys were on from Kenya on this big Zoom call. I'm like, okay. They bring out this soil and it looked terrible. And they said, this is what this was. And they show us. And then they break out this other bale and it's rich, deep, dark soil. I mean, it looks like they went to the store and bought it somewhere. And that's what the techniques are
Mhm.
doing. And they've been using the different sensors and stuff out there because there's a lot of harsh conditions and stuff, and if you can detect that stuff early, just like say we're getting an infestation of some kind of bug here, if you can detect that early, you can save a lot more in the whole area. It's not just you. um, but yeah, I've got to see this stuff, and I was thinking, okay, here's where the story finally gets to the end. Thank you. Is I moved to Missouri, and I was able to get my license and stuff to grow. So I was like, hey, you know, maybe, just maybe, people want something like this. So I started working on it, and then I got tied up and back over to the mainstream stuff. But here we are. We're again. Sorry I was so
And now
long
here
about
we
that.
are. Now look at this. No, that's all good, man. That's what the one thing that we want to hear. The community, we really want to hear the authenticity of people, know that they come from, the down here with us. They're not so untouchable, if that makes any sense. That you can be relatable. That's one thing that we
Well,
really want to know.
one thing I have to say is I don't know everything. I don't pretend I do, man. I learn a lot from AI. I learn from everybody every day, and that's what I'm trying to build this system to do too, because it needs to learn and evolve all the time. I mean, because if something's stagnant and the brain will go dead, critical thinking goes away. So this should
Yeah.
actually teach people how to actually troubleshoot their own problems without even having the AI up. So
Good, good. And that's smart, man, because you teach a man how to fish and then he eats for life, right? You give a man a fish, he only eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for life, right? That's basically the same thing that we're trying to do here. Is we're going to try to guide you, but we're still going to have you learn. Because trust me, you're not going to need the AI forever, but you are going to need it in the beginning of the certain stages, trim gel, something that. Oh, I want to put in there is that we need to advise people about trim gel. Now, this is widely considered the worst part of growing, as many of us growers out here know that trim gel is the one part that you're like, fuck, we could totally do without. But there's things like trim bowls that you could use, but you got to put a little disclaimer in there. Trim bowls knock off trichomes, so you are sacrificing some trichomes when you're using a trim bowl, but you're also saving that in time. This is just little things that we're going to be throwing in there that the AI is going to be learning on its own, man. Because I imagine there's going to be some haters out there that are going to be like, no trim balls, only hand trim. Not to be a hater or anything, but there's purists, as I should say, purists that are like only hand trim, no trim balls. That's fucking ridiculous. Like my brother. Oh my god, this motherfucker. He's like, don't give me any weed that's trim balled. I'm like, oh no, don't trip. I got you, right? I'll give you this weed, man. I give it to him, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, huh? He's like, oh man, this is way better. This is way better. I'm like, yeah, that was trim balled, motherfucker. He's like, really? Hey, yeah, that was trim balled. So you could run your mouth all day long, boy, but you know. So yeah, that's one thing that we need to put into the AI. So what did you grow this year? This year you have an outdoor plant, right?
yeah, I have a couple that are left. I started out with my maximum was 6 here, and started growing them, and they were doing good. I mean, actually, I got a late start on everything, about a month and a half, maybe late. And somebody had given me some plants, and they sat there. Somebody was supposed to put them in the ground for me. They didn't do them. So these things were like ready to die, stuff. So I finally got them in the ground and stuff. They weren't doing so good. And then my sensors came in, and I think I was talking to you back and forth on that one. I told you, hey, I'm finally getting the sensors in. And I found out that the temperature was hot. I mean, but the soil was like over 100 degrees, so it was baking the roots and all that. So everybody's plants around here were having problems. So of course I told everybody this is what's going on. So it helped a lot of people. But anyway, so 5 of them were ones that just found their way here. Ended up being 2 of those were male. One of them was female. Anyway, out of all the males and everything, and I had one herm, switch on me. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it was beautiful too. It was one of my biggest biggest ones. I mean, it just took off to the sky too. Then all of a sudden, I looked and there were balls, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I kept
Oh,
asking
damn.
AI. I kept
That's
looking at it. I kept taking pictures and saying, "Man, this can't be." Look, and it said, "Oh
yep.
yeah, man." It said you can go ahead and grow it. It said you might even get female seeds out. You probably will, but look at your other
Nice.
plants. So I killed it, and all the rest of the other ones too. The males were real big too. So I'm down to one of the originals that got that found its way here, and one seed that I got out at the Mo Cannafest that got thrown at me,
Okay.
and
Nice.
that that seed's black garlic, and it's
Okay.
doing pretty good. It was a late starter too. I mean, it got planted from a seed a month and a half late, and it's still it's still gonna. I'm gonna get
Kicking.
something good off of it. So that's the one I had to.
Good, man. At least you're getting something off of it. It's
Yep.
not a total loss. One
Yep.
thing that I wanted to bring up to everybody, all you new growers out there, this is one thing, is the herms. Okay. Now, for those who don't know, a herm is a hermaphrodite plant. Okay. The plant was growing female and it had female characteristics. It starts budding, you see pastels and all this stuff. Like there's no balls during flower. And then all of a sudden, sometimes there are different reasons why this happens. It is either the genetics aren't totally is stabilized before they were now. Crimson, huge shout out to Crimson. He'd be more of a person to talk about on that. But there's also another reason. There could be stress. Stressing out the plant too much could also make it hurt, which
That's
now
exactly
I
what
have done
happened.
also. Yes. Now, for those who don't know what a herm looks like, I'm going to put a little pollen sac picture right up here. Boom. This is going to be what a herm is. Now, a lot of people call it a banana or a nanner is what a lot of people, well, is what it's called out here. And it is very hard to see. Now, this is one thing that if your eyes aren't trained, you will not be able to spot it out. My eyes are trained for it. Now I see it everywhere. If I see a little fucking it's little things sticking out of a bud. That's a herm. Oh my God, that is a pollen sac. That I always say that life will find a way. So if there's a bunch of females in there, males will, pollen sac will pop out sometimes. It might not even be stressed out. It might not even be the genetics. It could just be the luck of the draw. It could just be happening like that.
Yeah.
Life will find a way, guys. Life will find a
I
way.
was in denial. I mean, seriously, I was looking at that. It was beautiful too, and I was like, "Oh man, no, no, no!" And luckily, I had that to tell me. I was like, "No, that's."
Good,
I said, "Can I wait
good,
another day?" He said,
good.
"You can, but
Because
you're risking it."
yeah, I did not have that when it happened to me. Okay, I had to do extensive work, extensive searching, information searching to find out what it was, how it happened, what's going to happen next, what to do. There's a bunch of questions on there. Now, as for if anybody out there, if if you can have a herm, there's a lot of options. You could either chop the whole plant, all right, either get the whole plant out of there. You could also just chop the fucking bud that has a herm on it off, and there is a chance that the herm will pop up on another bud, right? But there's also a chance that it won't, because it's happened to me. I've just chopped off the fucking herm before, and it was good. And I
Oh,
fucking took it all the way
mm.
to flower, and I didn't have any seeds in the fucking buds. So if you catch it in time, there's also that option.
I didn't catch it in time, man. I took them all off and did all that over a couple days, and it I didn't give up easy on it, but it kept
Good.
telling me, "Okay, wait, wait," and it said, "Now look again." And it made me take closer pictures, and it started catching them coming back. I was like, "Oh man, okay," So
Damn it.
I
Yeah,
tried,
yeah. What it
man.
is, what happens. So those for this one more thing for those who don't know, if your plant does get pollinated, in the bud that the pollen hit, where it's going to start making the seed, it stops making THC and it starts putting all its energy into forming those seeds, and so it'll, make its it just got impregnated. So now it's going to put all the energy into its babies, which are the seeds. And so that's what starts to happen there. You will get, how many seeds did you get? Thousands? Shit, you can get thousands of seeds in a fucking plant that's been hermed. So be careful for that. Did you smoke it?
What? Oh, it's still curing. I have it in the bag. Yeah.
Nice.
I
See,
think maybe
never
another
give up,
week.
baby.
Oh, I
Never
guess,
give up,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah,
Hell
I've got a
yeah,
couple
man.
more made their way too, because around here, when people have to chop down early for one reason or another, they like end up on your fence. So you go out, you get them. Oh, cool! I'll hang this one up for a while. Yeah, follow the
Nice.
process too. That's another thing too, is we'll help them from the very beginning, from germination all the way through curing, because that's how one of the things you was asking me about, about Sid. Well, another thing about Sid, and when I came up with him is, well, did I tell you that he used to be Australian anti-weed propaganda sloth over there?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, one of my Aussie friends was telling about. That's how I got the idea for him, because he's over there, and they make him look slow and stupid and all that other stuff. But come to find out, he just liked the weed, man. So he was playing their game. Once he found out about all that, he packed up and came here to Missouri. And there was some footage in the wild out there on cameras of him out crawling around out there on a couple of the boards on Reddit. Reddit was one of them. I think there was like 1 million people looking at that one, but turns out it was Sid. I don't even think they know it yet. And
Really? Well, they're about to do it now.
yeah, we may be doing a reveal there somewhere along the way. But the reason too is everybody goes through this stuff and everybody wants to rush everything. What's a
Mm.
good thing about a sloth? He's slow, methodical. He's going to make sure he waits to get it done. He'll just fire up something that he has, or see a friend and get high and do it. So, um,
Patience.
so
Patience is one
yeah,
thing that is.
yeah, patience. I mean, and with Sid, we're also going to be teaching different things, short little clips like how to germinate real quick.
This little seed's been asleep since it left the plant. Inside that shell is a full blueprint for life. It just needs a nudge to wake up.
Start by soaking your seed for about 24 hours. That water tells it, hey, it's time to grow. The shell softens, oxygen slips in, and the embryo starts to wake. When the seed sinks or cracks, you know it's ready for the next step. Now, let's give it a cozy bed. This paper towel, it's damp, but not soaked. Just enough to stay humid, you see. Wrap the seed right in there, snug as a bug. Slip it into the baggie and into a dark, warm spot, round about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect. Just perfect. Check it once a day, that's it. Don't poke it. Don't drown it. When you see that tiny white taproot peek out phone, she's ready.
Now, with clean tweezers, plant her root tip down, about 1/2 inch deep.
Lightly cover, mist the surface, and keep it warm. That taproot's about to anchor your future. Give her light, give her warmth, and boom, you've got a sprout. The start of every grower's story begins right here.
Cultivating ain't just growing a plant, folks. It's growing a better future.
To learn more and sign up free for early access and special promotions, drift on over to theinternetofpot.com.
Some medical things, like what terpenes might help with this ailment. Other things, because it's not just all about cultivation. Like I said, it's an ecosystem. If somebody wants to know something, they can come to the internetofpot.com and hopefully find out and not be afraid to ask the question. because that's one big
Yeah,
thing. A
that's
lot of
one thing that I really want everybody out here. And when you're using the internet a pot, just remember there are no stupid questions. Okay, like, I mean, there's a few stupid questions, but not really stupid. Like, it's fine. You can ask whatever you want. Just please don't come up or asking some stupid shit about not about weed. Nah.
yeah,
Just go ahead and ask what about
yeah,
weed, and we got it,
yeah.
right?
Let's keep it about weed. Keep all the nasty stuff going on around us out of it, and just, I mean,
Just yeah, we'll just leave that over there.
if
Also,
everybody in
we
the
are
world
going to
could
be
just smoke a
monitoring.
joint.
Yes, to smoke a joint and come together, baby. That's all we're trying to do. Yeah, everybody knows that cannabis brings people together. All right, doesn't matter what color, background, what you bang. Everybody loves weed, and that's what it is, right? Except for the people out there who aren't able to smoke weed, but once their states are legal and they actually fucking wake up, then they'll be able to do it. But anyways, yeah, it's something that brings us all together, and so this is what we're trying to do. We are also going to be monitoring. We're going to be monitoring like crazy. So we're going to, we're not going to make it easy to where people could just come in and start spamming shit around. All right, you're gonna have to be verified to where we know that you're a real person, because we that's one of the things that is wrong with all these other platforms is that scammers, bots, all these people can just come in, haters just come in and start flagging away, just flagging people's pages and not caring, right? You're not going to be doing that here. Right over here, you flag. We're going to look into you and see. Well, okay, hold on. Just make sure this is a real person. Okay, then look into this other person. Okay, make sure everybody's real people, and then try to figure out what's going on. If we can't figure out what's going on, both of you are gone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, we're gonna be looking at everything. I mean, just keep it to the topic. I mean, we're not gonna be like these privacies. I'm a privacy advocate. So I always have been. I mean, back from the days of Beyond Hope, the hacker conventions and stuff like that. So, I mean, I was a kid of the '80s. So anyway, yeah. So we want to have the privacy thing set up where we're going to verify some things. We're going to monitor. We're going to make sure that you know you're going to be able to share what you want to share that you're not able to share now over on the other platforms because it's cannabis related. If as long as you're not flaming people and you're not doing all the stuff you mentioned, trying to like just spam the site, you'll be good. But if you're not, believe me, we'll turn the security measures up on you. So
Yeah, no, we ain't playing, man. We ain't playing that bullshit. There's not gonna be no hate around here. We're just trying to bring knowledge to people, okay? And I know how it is, how one bad apple can fuck it up for everybody. So we're just trying not to get that going, all right? We're gonna have Sid out there. Sid's gonna be checking motherfuckers. You know how Sid is.
you ever
Now,
been jumped by a sloth? You're gonna Just remember, man, he can be security too because we're talking weed. Everybody moves slower.
yeah. Hey man, you ever get your ass kicked by a precise motherfucking sloth? This motherfucker took his time.
He can't let you go quick enough because he's so
Yeah.
slow. We're gonna be back.
I like the idea of the sloth though, because they're slow, patient, and methodical, which we need to, cannabis, you guys out there, we all know it, the growers know it, and the new growers are the ones that I want to show that tell this most, to growing cannabis is about patience. All right. Patience is one thing that you are going to need for everything. You're going to need patience to wait for that seed to sprout. Okay. You're going to need patience to be not overwatering and be too enthusiastic with the watering. You're going to need patience to let her grow up before you start trimming and training and topping and stuff. You're going to need patience to let her go veg long enough before you put her into flower. That way she's ready for flowers. You're gonna need patience when you are flowering and you want to cut it down because you're like, it's gotta be ready, it's gotta be ready. Well, give it another couple weeks, and then cut down the plant. You're going to need patience when drying the plant. You're going to need patience when curing the plant, which is the big one. 2 weeks, or some people do for a week, but at least 2 weeks is a minimum of a cure. So when people say, well, how long is it going to be before your plant's ready? You might as well just tell them months. Just be like, months, dog. Just, I don't know. When it's done, it's done. I'll let you know, but it's patience.
So after you said that last one that I had to cut down, it's been in the grow bag for a while. I might be about ready to try that.
All right, good, man.
Because isn't something you said before is every time you think you're ready for something on this, give it another week or so?
Yeah, every time that you think that it's ready to cut down, give it another week. That is Pigeons 420. He is the one who taught me. Speaking of pigeons, we are going to try to collaborate with Pigeons. I'm most definitely going to get Pigeons on this to where he can help us with this, because if he's my mentor, my mentor got to be up on this. And I know for a fact he's going to think it's an amazing idea. So, we're going to get Pigeons on this. But that's one thing that Pigeons was told. He was told too by, another grower, is when you think it's ready, give it another week. You won't be sorry. You'll be happy. Trust. What are your plans for next year's grow? Are you doing indoor or outdoor?
Well, I'm going to try to get something built here before it gets too bad out in the garden that we cleared, because we took out about an acre and made our garden in there. But so I'm going to try to put something up to grow inside this winter. But next spring, my wife Kathy, she's going to get her license as well, and we're going to do the maximum. We can do 6. So total, it would be 12 plants in each stage of growth. So, we can start getting a cycle going if we start early enough in the season. So I'd like to fill up my backfield if at all possible, so.
God damn, hold on here. 12 for each stage of growth?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Missouri law.
Bro, that's fucking dope, because then you got 12 veg, 12 clones, right? Does that count?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, 12 in flower and 12 hanging. And then 12 curing? Does that count?
Well, I think once they're cut, that goes into your amount you're allowed to have. But it's a lot. I mean, they don't, you're allowed to have pretty much what you want, and then you start giving it away if you want, but.
Mm-hmm.
But,
good. I like it.
And it's a sharing kind of thing, so it's good. If I can get enough, I'm going to share with my neighbors and stuff, So.
Almost dev. You just come by and be like, "Hey guys, how are you doing? Here's a big fat nug for you." I know all my neighbors fucking love me, man. Shit. They're like, "Yo, hey, would you happen to have some smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Here's a fucking quarter." Just, they're like, "Damn, like that." I'm like, "Yeah, just take it. It's fine. It's just weed. We spread the love. That's what we're about."
Yeah. How many do you have now?
I got the limit that we can have here in Washington State is 15. So, and that's just 15 all around. I had a little bit more than 15 going, but now with the males taken out, huge shout out to Chris from Crop Culture. He sent over some cloudy skies, and I was growing those out, and they were fucking beautiful plants, but they turned out to be males. So I had to chop them down, and then I had to chop out 2 more out of my tent because I had 5 growing in my tent. Now, this is one little tip for the new growers also, since we're talking to new growers. Don't put too many plants in your tent, okay? I know you want to load it up as much as possible. You want that sea of green, but it's my advice. Don't do it, man. Keep it to four in the
Airflow.
10 because it's all gonna grow, man. Yes, you airflow, space for the light to get to the buds sites you're gonna need, because if you have too many plants in there, when you start to push these buds and you take out the plants to trim them and stuff, you're gonna see all these bare spots that have just not gotten any light. And so you have like this plant where it has a bunch, it looks good right here, but on the sides and everything, it doesn't look good because it's not getting no light. There's just too much plants in there. So I was having that problem. I had 5 plants in my 10, and I had to take down 2 of them. So now I have 3 in there. But there's one that is getting all the light, and the other 3 are barely starting to catch up now because through this whole time they've been, cut out by the other plants. And so now it's starting to come out. So I got 3 in that tent, in the flower tent, and then I got 3 in the other flower tent. I got a Holy Moly Donut Shop. You just shout out to Crimson. I got an OG Cam. I got a purple pill box, but it's called something else. Purple Punch. I have tags, a Chill Out OG from Mr. Grow It, and something else. I can't remember what else I got, but there's something else that I have. And then I got like 6 clones. So what is that? 12? Yeah. So yeah, I got a bunch going on, buddy.
Well, hopefully we can get stuff going like that, because if I get that indoor space set up a little bit, we can do our stuff early and just start popping them in the ground at the right stages. But anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. You're definitely going to want a clone tent.
Oh, one other thing too that we're going to be including that you brought to the table that we had to include in here is for the grower profile, for the plant profile. We're going to be, you put in what kind of plant it is, what strain it is, what medium you're growing in. Are you gonna, are you doing aeroponics? Are you doing hydroponics? Are you doing, raised bed gardens? What is it? All that you put in there. If you select your state, you also want to make sure that you have your, the soil type. Like, is it loamy clay or what? Because all the different things, and AI will take that into account when it's coming back, understanding your sensor readings. Because like here in Missouri, my EC is actually it needs to be a little bit lower because of the way that the soil retains stuff. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't quite understand it at first, but I've been watching the curves. So like, when I feed, now I'm kind of in a stage where I'm trying to clear them out now. But when I do feed, it's I can watch the curve. Like at first I was watering and adding it in, and I would see the EC jump up, but it would drop down real fast. I mean, real fast. And then I figured out because of that I was getting runoff out of it. I needed to put these circular diked plots around each plant, and then to address the heat in the soil, the mulch and all that stuff. It walked me through every step, and then I started seeing a natural curve where it was over a day and a half. It would drop at a steady pace. And then I started getting the hang of feeding too. I'd get my stuff mixed right, and I think it's going to need this. And every time it was like getting a little low on nitrogen or something from the daily pictures I was taking, it was saying add it. And if I didn't have something, it would say, oh well, like use up some salts, crush up Tums, stuff like that. Oh well, whenever the sensors are in there, you can see like how much salts are near the roots and stuff, the electrical conductivity. So that way you can see, like, if I'm adding, a nutrient, I know what I'm doing. It's not going to tell you the exact nutrient you need to add, but combined with the pictures of the plant, things like that, it'll help you identify what it is you need. So like if it's nitrogen, add this, or that. If you're pH is low or something like that. Because there's pH sensors also that we can take into account too. But my next garden is going to have way more sensors than I have now. I have a couple seed sensors right now out there. They're actually remote lower WAN sensors are sitting out about probably a quarter mile away out in the field. And it feeds up here, and I can either take it from my what LoRa is is it's long range low power wireless, and it's used for like Internet of Things devices. So if you live off grid like I do, way out in the middle of nowhere here, all you need to do is have an internet connection like my Starlink connection at your base. Then your sensors can be a mile to 2 miles away out in the field, way out in the middle, and they'll still talk up and report their values back. Really, really, really pretty stable. That's the same stuff that we're using overseas and some of the remote places in Africa. We bring them in,
Oh
send
man,
them through
that's
Starlink.
dope.
But those sensors do. The ones one that does soil temperature, soil moisture, and EC, a combined sensor. That one runs about $125 for the sensor that sits out in the field. But then you have to have a gateway, so that's like another $150 or something to get it up on the internet and feed it to us. But so it's not that bad. It used to be bad to do that stuff, but now it's getting cheaper. But I still think that's a lot for somebody, that just starting out doing something. Go get a cheap sensor. I mean, and get the value on your phone and take a screenshot, upload it in. You'll get a lot of the same stuff, just not quite as much automation.
Until you realize that's what you want to do.
Then you'll realize that's what you want to do, and then you're going to start, wanting to ramp it up. And I really I want it just to ping me in the middle of the night when something goes wrong. I don't know if you do. Think about that before you ask for it, because that's how mine's set up. And I've been out there in rainstorms doing stuff to these plants, man. So imagine how bad it's going to be whenever I have 12 of them ready, all flowering.
Yes, that alarm is going to be going
Kathy and I
off.
are going to be out there all night. Yeah, I mean, every night, every big windstorm or whatever. But it's like, it's cool though, because it's like you're talking to your plants. You're listening to them and you're talking. Yeah.
And for those out there, if you don't know, this is going to be for that's only for Keith's situation, because Keith is out there in the middle of nowhere and he has, I'm sure you don't have like walls to block wind and shit like that. But there are some people out there who have just a fucking garage out there and they're doing it out there and they can get the signal and be told what's going on out in the garage. It's just mind blowing. It's such a good idea, brother.
Oh, there's Wi-Fi sensors. If it's someplace close like a garage, I mean, there's Wi-Fi, and there's also this extended Wi-Fi technology that I've seen sensors coming out on now too, that'll go a lot further than regular Wi-Fi. I mean, I was testing it for my internet connection down there because I want to start streaming down there at the field, and I can't remember the name of it, but this stuff, it's a little slower, but it'll reach regular standard Wi-Fi way down. I mean, I have it like a mile away, so the technology's here, man. It's time to leverage it cheap to try to help people. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to bring to everybody. The technology is here. It is time. We can do this, and I think we should. I feel that Keith, you fucking killed it, brother. You're on, you got your head on straight. You did a great, you did a great job coming up with this idea. You are you're head streaming it all by yourself. I'm just like the face over here helping promote a little bit, basically. But I feel like it's your baby.
No, I'm not going to let you say that, man. No, you're the one that's dry. Okay, this thing has been, a lot of techs can have these things and have these wonderful, great ideas, but techs a lot of times by nature, and I know it by people I've worked with, me included, we live in our own little world. Okay, we're going to program something so we think it works, but it takes guys like you, the ones that have the knowledge, that have real people accessing the system saying, I don't like this, this isn't that great, that kind of stuff. So really, you're the one pushing us over the finish line on this thing, getting it into the hands of people. So don't, don't,
All
don't,
right.
don't. Yeah, yeah. You're not just the ad guy. Yeah,
Don't play myself. don't
you're a
don't play
partner in
myself.
this,
I'm
man.
actually fucking putting in some work. That's good. Yes. For those who don't know, I'm partnering with Keith, and we're gonna be bringing the Internet of Pod with my name on it too. So if you fuck with me, you fuck with Keith, and that's what it is. Right. So we're gonna be on here. Make sure to come check us, everybody out. Now, Keith, we are at our 1 hour mark, and you did it, son. You killed it. Good job.
Oh. Cool. Well, yeah.
Woof.
One
Got
other
over
thing,
with
real
that.
quick, is one thing that
Uh-huh.
we're going to be doing too on the Internet of Pod. I have, like, if somebody doesn't have access to the AI, they can post their question, and we'll analyze it and give them an answer out of our system just to try to help them out. You might see me out on Facebook or sit out on Facebook too, answering random questions. I've been doing it for over a year now. So I just haven't told anybody where the answers were coming from. Okay, I'm done.
Totally
Oh,
cool.
and listen to
Totally cool. No, no.
CannaConvos.
Hey, CannaConvos, you already know. So, is there anybody? Actually, I had one last question for you. Okay, what would
Yeah.
you give? What advice would you give to the new grower?
Don't think you know everything. The minute you read something and you think you know it all, it's gonna bite you right in the ass, man. I mean, I've had other years, and I thought, oh yeah, I know this. I read this. It's like tomatoes. Well, kinda. Anyway, but you talk to people around you. Never like act like a know-it-all. Be humble, because you might run into somebody like Sly here at a CannaConvo or a CannaFest, and then they'll introduce you to more people. You're
CannaFest.
going to learn every day if you let yourself, man. Just don't be closed-minded. That's about it.
Beautiful. Well said, sir. I wanted to thank you for coming on, Keith. We've been in the works with this for a minute, so it is an honor to have you on the show, sir. Thank you so much for coming on and coming up with the Internet of Pot, man. I mean, it's a great idea, and I thank you for that. Is there any sponsors or any businesses or anything that you wanted to plug other than the Internet of Pot?
Well, we have the company that's behind me is my company, which is Cognizance AI. So we're the ones doing all the programming on the back end, getting it all done, and really, just if you need anything done like that, like advertising, things like that, you might hit us up, see if we can help you out. But my main focus now is getting this Internet of Pot in the hands of everybody. So let's that's my mission at this point, man.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do this, man. Let's get it out for everybody out there. On my note, I want everybody to be ready. Okay. Be ready because this is happening. We are doing this. We are going to make this our new spot where we can grow safely. We can talk about our plants safely. We can talk about having seeds and stuff like this. We can talk about this without having to worry about our pages get took off and all our memories and connections getting snatched away from us. All right. There's multiple platforms that are doing this to us, and we're sick of it. And what happens anytime that somebody keeps getting messed with? They make their own, and go do it themselves. So, God dang it, that's what we're gonna do. So, everybody on here, if you follow CannaConvos or you are interested on learning how to grow cannabis, please give us a follow. Make sure to go check out the Internet of Pot. We're going to be going to the website. Go to the website, sign up, get your information, all that, man. You already know. Make sure to come check us out because we are doing this. Give a huge shout out to Sid. Ask Sid any questions. There will be a virtual logo on there as as advertised also, so you can get some a little bit of knowledge from me right there, baby. So yes, that's what's coming up, and I want everybody to be ready for it, baby. This is what we're doing. Arr, arr, arr. So, hey Keith, man, thank you so much for coming on. For everybody, make sure to come check out the next episode of CannaConvos. Also, I forgot, make sure to go check out CannaConvos. Grove Bags, great company, great company. Ogo, Grown, Gambit Grows, Seasman.com. That's good genetics right there. And Stash Blend is your good macronutrients. And hit code SLY with all those websites. Get yourselves a couple bucks off. Yeah, brother, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna definitely have you down the road, man. But when we got this thing going, and we're like 10 years from now, we're all thanking each other for spreading the word, cannabis to everybody. We'll be like, this guy right here, he's the one who started it. And I just pushed you over the finish line.
All right.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
On.
We'll see you next time. Anytime, brother. You have a good day. Late.
Every state has its secrets. And Washington's got two faces. Rainforest on the coast, dry scrub in the east. One man seen it all, guerrilla grower. Outlaw teacher Sly, aka Local. That's why Internet a pot partner with him. To learn, to log, to grow smarter.
Oh, Local walks through cedar shade. Raindrops heavy where the rivers wade. Across the mountains, sun bakes ground. Sandy loam, dust swirling round. He's run crops hidden deep in the pines. Tracked the seasons, read the signs. Now his lessons feed the code. Internet of pot walks the road. Partner with the pioneers, wisdom flows. Like a local, the system grows. From where the west woods to dry east stone. CannaConvos makes the knowledge our own. Know your soil, he laughs, that's the start. Clay grips tight, sand falls apart. One strain thrives in the valley floor. Another up high where the eagles soar. Think first growers debate, refine. AI listens, adjusts in time. Old hands teach, young minds learn. Together the cycle takes its turn.
Internet of pot ain't guessing, it's listening. Every tip from Loco gets lost.